welcome to Bremen.
Thank you.
Is it a dream role you're playing?
It is. It absolutely is a dream role to play Maria. I remember, I of course grew up watching the movie and watching Natalie Wood and thinking she was so beautiful and so wonderful in this part. And then when I was in elementary school, growing up, I was maybe 8 or 9 years old, and I remember watching a high school production of West Side Story and just loving it, loving the role of Maria and just the production in general and really wanting to do it. So I feel really lucky to get to do it now.
I joined this tour back in December of 2007 in Zurich, Switzerland. Was the first time I did it, and I've been touring for the past 2.5 years with it. And after you play a character for such a long time, it can't help to become a part of you. The first number Tony sings is called Something's Coming, and Tony is young and 19-year-old guy, knows there's something out there. He can't put a name on what it is, but he sings about knowing that there's something more, there's something out there, there's something coming to him. And when I was home in the United States as an actor, everyone always asks you, oh, what's the next project? What's happening? And I would say, well, you know, I don't know, but I keep having a dream at night, and I keep waking up, and I keep thinking, you know, there's a role, and it's out there, and it's coming, and something new. And I kept thinking, wow, I'm really starting to turn into this character. So, yeah.
There's something really special about the show. As opposed to some other, I mean, I love musical theater and I've done a lot of musical theater, but I think West Side Story is unique in that we can do it for 8 months and still find new things. It's amazing, even as little as the script is, there isn't really that much dialogue that we say, but the layers are so deep that it's fun to keep discovering and keep improving.
The beauty of live theater is that everything is essentially happening for the first time. No show is ever alike. I might know my lines, but my job as an actor is to be present and in the scene. I never know how a scene is going to go. I never know how I'm going to say something. Many times I surprise myself with the way it comes out. And that's because of the energy, not only of the actors on stage, but the energy of the theater, the energy of the audience, the energy and what just has sort of happened that day. So you can do a show hundreds of times, and no show is ever going to be exactly the same. And
are you surprising each other, like doing not exactly what he's supposed to do or he's expecting you to do and things like that?
What is the correct answer? No, I think we do surprise each other, not in a way that, I think everything is within the confines of what we've been directed to do, and we know where to stand, and we know sort of the overall emotion of the scene and where we're going, what songs we're doing. But I think that but the beauty of doing theater is that, you know, we look in each other's eyes and can see sort of what place we're in that day, and just little bitty nuances that the audience won't necessarily notice, but I think they notice that we're really connecting and that we're really in the scene together, and I think that makes a big difference.
The art of a musical theater actor is to not only, even though you have to be present in the moment, you still have to sing a song. You have to know where your light is. You have to know where your blocking is. You have to know where your mark, where you have to stand, so all that can happen. But within that, you find a freedom, and you find the reality of it. So yes, it's always the same show, but moments can change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's definitely true. And I mean, we certainly, Scott and I have had some fun moments, because, you know, it's live theater, so anything can happen, you know. Prop pieces can malfunction.
Mannequins can fall apart.
Exactly, you know, and you sort of have to figure it out within the scene and play with your scene partner and do all that.
I mean, it's a treat as well that you cope so marvelous with each other, isn't it? I mean, it could be that you say, oh my God, Ellie again. You know, oh, I have to hug her tonight again, give her a kiss, oh no. I mean, what would happen if that would be the fact?
You know, I've had, in all the times I've done this show, I think I've had 8 or 9 Marias in the past couple of years.
Hello!
That sounds terrible, really. Excuse me. 8 or 9 different actresses have played Maria over the years, and they're all very different. They all play the role very differently. And I always say I can find something to fall in love with in every one of them. I have not yet, thank God, have had a Maria that I have not gotten along well with. But if it was to happen, well, then it happens, and Tony will find something about Maria to fall in love with.
Right. The beauty of theater is you're thrown together with this group of people. We have 38 cast members, and you pretty much only see them for, you know, the 8 months. You interact with other people, but those are the people that you're friends with. And I think very quickly you just become a family, which has its upside and its downside. I mean, and I think we really support each other, which is really important. You know, someone's sick, everyone else goes and brings them tea and brings them, you know, crackers if they're not feeling well otherwise, because that happens on tour. And we're all going to be together for the holidays, for Christmas and New Year's. And I think, you know, we'll really get each other presents and do the usual family things, because we are a family too. Yeah. And it's been wonderful to see the world, really. As a job, even better.
Tokyo, Tel Aviv, Amsterdam, Madrid, all
Bremen.
These, and Bremen. Well, we just got here. We just got here last night, so I haven't gotten to see too much of it yet, but I promise I will. West Side Story was conceived and created by Jerome Robbins, and he originally had the idea. He was working with an actor on a production of Romeo and Juliet, and he was trying to help the actor playing Romeo with the part, and he kept saying, you know, try to, what if we think about a family, or think about gangs, and he kept trying to update it, and he thought, wouldn't this be an interesting idea for a musical? He always wanted to create a piece of theater that you could not remove the music or the dance and have the piece still work. It changed the shape of musical theater as an art form, and between it being such a timeless story, such a relevant topic, and such a new way of storytelling, in 50 years, it stood the test of time. I think
the show is so successful because, unfortunately, times haven't changed enough to really take away the hatred between groups of people for often, you know, very tiny differences.
Please give us a little, yeah, what shall I say? Show us a bit of this musical thing.
Tonight, tonight, the world is full of light, with suns and moons all over the place. Tonight, tonight, the world is wild and bright, going mad, shooting sparks into space. Today the world was just an address, a place for me to live in, no better than all right. But here you are, and what was just a world is a star.